You hear the perfect storm, and what comes to mind? Probably a big, splashy disaster movie, right? Well, today we're going to go a bit deeper than that. We're going to talk about why this story, it's so much more. It's this incredible, lasting tale about the human condition, about regular people up against something truly impossible.
You know that feeling? It all starts right here. That sense of quiet you can only get when you're near the water. It's like everything just settles, right? The world just kind of makes sense for a minute. We're all looking for that little piece of calm. And then, bam! That's the twist. That's where the story really kicks off. Because for all the quiet moments the sea gives you, it can take so much more. It has this huge, unforgiving power. And that's the real heart of The Perfect Storm. It's not a story about strength or muscle. It's a story about character.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the Andrea Gail. This isn't some made-up Hollywood story. This is based on a real fishing boat, a real crew who went out for one last shot, with everything to lose.
So yeah, the Andrea Gail. She was a real boat, a commercial fishing vessel out of Gloucester, Massachusetts. This whole story is completely grounded in the lives of the guys who worked that boat, men who called Gloucester home and made their living wrestling with the Atlantic Ocean.
So you gotta ask, why would anyone take a risk like that? Well, the reasons are pretty simple and totally human. They were going for it all. A huge payday, right? A last chance to finally get ahead. It was about putting food on the table, paying the bills, just hoping for a better life. And it all hinged on this one last epic catch.
All right, next up, is this a man's film? You hear that a lot about this movie, and I think it's worth digging into. What is it about this story that resonates so strongly? Let's break it down.
So what's the deal? Well, a couple of things. For one, these aren't superheroes. They're just regular guys, fishermen. They know exactly how dangerous it is, but they go anyway. It's their job. And the enemy? It's not some bad guy. It's Mother Nature herself, and you can't reason with that. Plus, every single man on that boat had his own personal reason for being there, for risking it all.
And really, it all boils down to this. It's about a job that has to be done. And if they don't do it, who will? It's this deep sense of duty, almost like fate. This is just what they do. In their world, you don't run from the storm. You sail right into it.
Okay, now let's talk about the scenes you just can't forget. The moments that really show this struggle against something impossible. I mean, some of these shots are just burned into my memory forever.
This line from the captain says everything. It's pure defiance, pure determination. It's the moment they cross the line and there's no going back. They've been warned, but the decision is made. The whole crew's character is just locked into that one single moment.
And then there's this image. Seriously, even if you've never seen the movie, you know this shot. The Andrea Gail, looking like a tiny toy, balanced on the edge of this mountain of water. It's the perfect picture of humanity facing something just way bigger than itself.
But the climax isn't just one big wave. It's built up so well. It starts with just a conversation, the guys talking honestly about why they're out there in the first place. Then you get that gut-wrenching decision to just go for it, to sail through the storm. And finally, the fight itself. And it is a fight. There's no Hollywood glamour, no one-liners. It's raw, it's brutal, and it's just about trying to survive.
All right, let's shift gears now. Let's talk about the truth behind the storm. Because underneath all the Hollywood magic is a really chilling, tragic, true story. We need to look at what actually happened back in 1991.
It all comes down to this number, 3. This perfect storm, it wasn't just a hurricane. No, this was something else entirely. It was this crazy, rare weather event where three separate huge storm systems all crashed into each other over the Atlantic. It created something nobody had ever seen before.
So here's the hard truth. The Andrea Gail and its crew of 6 men, they disappeared in that storm at the end of October 1991. Vanished. The ship, the crew, just gone. They never even got a distress call out. No wreckage was found. No bodies were ever recovered. Nothing. The only reason we know this story is because of the incredible research that Sebastian Junger did for his book.
So, why do we still talk about this story? Why does it stick with us after all this time? I'll tell you why. Because when you get right down to it, this was never a story about fishing. It's a story about character.
The real power of this story is in what it is, compared to what it isn't. You see, it's about character, not about guys in capes. It's about brotherhood,
Not about winning some big fight. It's about real courage, not Hollywood glamour. And man, it is definitely about making impossible choices that have no easy answers.
So what you're left with, what you really see on screen, is just this incredibly raw look at the human spirit pushed to the absolute limit. You see fear and courage living right next to each other. You see a job that takes way more than it ever gives back. You see this bond between men that's forged under pressure you can't even imagine. You see them make decisions that cost them their lives. And you see a sea that has absolutely no mercy.
And I think that's the big takeaway here, isn't it? This is why stories like this are so important. They remind us of something we all kind of know deep down. You don't build character when life is easy. True character is forged in the storm.
And I'll leave you with this thought. The sea doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't ask. It just shows up. And, well, neither does life, does it? It's just a perfect metaphor for all the stuff that life throws our way. So, the question I want you to think about is this. We all have our storms, right? They might not be on the ocean, but they're real. So which storms in your life have made you who you are today? What can we learn from the Andrea Gail about facing our own?